Hi, friend. Welcome back to episode 2 of Tales from Elsewhere with Unkey Dunkey. I'm so glad that you have the time to spend with me today. I have a few fun things to share and show, a few ideas for art that we can do together, and then another fun story that my friend wrote that I would love to share. So, to start, I would like to open up one of my story holder hip holsters. So I wear this on my waist. It allows me to carry multiple storybooks around with me. So the first one I would like to show you is an art book version of Oh, the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss. It's one of my favorite stories growing up, and about 15 years ago, someone showed me a video that a team of people had made reading the story and made a video of it. I thought it was a really cool idea, so I decided to make a book version of the video of the story. So this is my art book interpretation of Dr. Seuss's Oh, the Places You'll Go. Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, and you can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the one who will decide where to go. You'll look up and down streets, look 'em over with care. About some you will say, I don't choose to go there. With your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you're too smart to go down any not-so-good streets. And you may not find any you want to go down. In that case, of course, you'll head straight out of town. It's opener there in the wide open air. Out there, things can happen, and frequently do, to people as brainy and footsy as you. And when things start to happen, don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along. You'll start happening too. Oh, the places you'll go. You'll be on your way up. You'll be seeing great sights. And you'll join the high flyers who soar to high heights. You won't lag behind because you'll have all the speed. And you'll pass the whole gang as you soon take the lead. Wherever you fly, you'll be the best of the best. Wherever you go, you'll top all the rest. Except when you don't, because sometimes you won't. I'm sorry to say, but sadly it's true, that bang-ups and hang-ups will happen to you. You'll get all hung up on a prickly perch, and your gang will fly on, you'll be left in a lurch. You'll come down from that lurch with an unpleasant bump. And the chances are then that you'll be in a slump. And when you're in a slump, you're not in for much fun. Unslumping yourself is not easily done. You will come to a place where the streets are not marked. Some windows are lighted and others are darked. A place you could sprain both your elbow and chin. Do you dare to stay out? Do you dare to go in? How much can you lose? How much can you win? And if you go in, should you turn left or right and 3/4, or maybe not quite, or go around back and sneak in from behind? Simple it's not, I'm afraid you will find, for a mind maker upper to make up their mind. You can get so confused that you'll start into race down long wiggle roads at a breaknecking pace, and grind on for miles across a weirdish wild space, headed, I fear, towards a most useless place. The waiting place, for people just waiting. Waiting for a train to go, or bus to come, or plane to go, or mail to come, or the rain to go, or the phone to ring, or the snow to snow, or waiting around for yes or no, or waiting for their hair to grow. Everyone is just waiting. Waiting for the fish to bite, or waiting for the wind to fly a kite, or waiting around for Friday night, or waiting perhaps for their Uncle Jake, or a pot to boil, or a better break. or a string of pearls, or a pair of pants, or a wig with curls, or another chance. Everyone is just waiting. No, that's not for you. Somehow you'll escape all the waiting and staying, and you'll find the bright places where boom bands are playing. With banners flip-flapping, once more you'll ride high, ready for anything under the sky, ready 'cause you're that kind of guy. Oh, the places you'll go, there is fun to be done, there are points to be scored, there is games to be won. And the magical things you will do with this ball will make you the winningest winner of all. Fame, you'll be famous, as famous can be, with the whole wide world watching you win on TV. Except when they don't, because sometimes they won't. I'm afraid that sometimes you'll play lonely games too, some games you can't win 'cause you'll play against you. All alone, whether you like it or not. Alone is something that you'll be quite a lot. And when you're alone, there's a very good chance you'll meet things that scare you right out of your pants. There are some down the road between hither and yon that will scare you so much you won't want to go on. But on you will go, though the weather be foul. On you will go, though your enemies prowl. On you will go, though the hack and cracks howl. Onward up many a frightening creek, while your arms may get sore and your sneakers may leak. On and on you will hike, and I know you'll hike far, and face up to whatever your problems, whatever they are. You'll get mixed up, of course, as you already know. You'll get mixed up with many strange birds as you go. So be sure when you step with great care and great tact, and remember that life's a great balancing act. Just never forget to be dexterous and deft, and never mix up your right foot from your left. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Kid, you'll move mountains. So be your name Buxbaum or Bixby or Bray or Mordecai Ali Van Allen O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today's your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. That is a fun art book I developed many years ago. And initially developed the fun accordion binding method that a lot of my stuff is bound by. So that was Oh, the Places You'll Go. Next, I think we should work on the creative kit for a bit. So this is one I started drawing yesterday, or last episode. And the rule set for this art project, this creative kit, is I normally draw with my right hand. When I'm drawing the squiggles, I'll hold it with my left hand in a way that I normally don't hold a pen. So I'm going to hold it differently. And then I'm going to go and just draw lines and squiggles. Hold it differently again. And just see how the different holdings of the pens feel in the hand that you normally don't draw with. Okay. Then, my friend Scott gave me all of these markers. They're quite fancy. They have a brush tip on one end and a chisel tip on the other. I like using the brush tip today. So we drew a bunch of shapes on our creative kit, and now we're just coloring in those shapes. when I've looked online, I think often I see this sort of activity time-lapsed. And that's all right. But the point of this show is for people to craft along with me. So I hope you're at your house or home or campsite or park or apartment or trailer or wherever you rest your head. You have your own shoebox and you're coloring it and making it unique and your own. And just spending time with me, coloring. What should be the next color? Maybe a green? I think a green could be a next color. How is your box coming along? Are you using markers or pencil crayons? And crayons could also work. Maybe you're being really adventurous and using paint. I think next day I might paint one of the sides with paint. I have some mostly used up paint tubes. That would be nice to save the shelf space by using them up on a fun art project like this. Ooh, that's kind of neat. So now that I've used up all of the colors, at least once, put all the colors back in the container. And now our creative kit is a little bit more colorful. And every time we meet, we'll add a bit more to it. And over time, it'll become cooler and cooler and more complex, just like all my other projects. So, we opened the creative kit, and last time, I challenged or requested you with finding some toilet paper rolls. So we have Puppet, our puppet friend. But I think Puppet might want more friends. So I thought we could turn a toilet paper roll into a very quick friend for Puppet. By drawing two eyes, a little nose, and a mouth. And now, Puppet has a friend. Wonderful. So I think for next episode, I would challenge you or request you to find another shoebox or another box of some sort. Small, medium size. Because as now that we have two puppets and so many markers and colors, I don't know if this one box would be big enough to hold all of the art and craft supplies. So my plan next episode will be to make a little puppet theater and transport an organizing box for our puppets so we can start doing puppet skits with them. Now that we have two puppets that can talk to each other, we got to build a set for them to talk to each other on. So, for next episode, try and find another box that we can use. Would love to show you all some art that I did using the same method or rule set as the creative kit box. We're just drawing all around it with your non-dominant hand, making lots of squiggles and then coloring in the shapes that appear. So I made quite a few of them. This one was with pens. This one was with colored pens. This one was with markers that I was trying to use up so I could save the caps and put them in pickle jars. Another one. Tried straight line shapes on this one. More just starting from a center, squiggling out in different directions, and then coloring in the spaces that you create. Basically making your very own coloring book page, just by having some fun scribbling some lines. Well, thank you for joining me again for another episode of Tales from Elsewhere with Unkey Dunkey. I'm still figuring out the camera setup and the microphone and how it all works, but I hope today's episode was a little bit better and you could hear me more clearly. I would like to end today's episode with another story called The Sun Will Rise. It was written by my friend Logan. And it was the story that really inspired me and made me feel that I could write Spiraling Towards Center. Because one of my good friends who I've known for over 20 years, he wrote this story. And if he could write it, then I could write one too. Because I don't know, anything that my friends do, it makes it easier to think it's possible because you know someone who's done it. So this is the first big epic story that one of my very close friends wrote based on and inspired by the artwork that I did for the Oh, the Places You'll Go art book. So, the sun will rise, and when it does, the world will dance, will sing, because a thought was perched where someone dreamed, and woken up, the faces gleamed. In moonlight cast through love the past, make shadows flicker holding fast onto the feet who stand their ground of laugh as voices come unbound. To pass the time we split the day up into parts, our work and play. Divided by a thinking blade, grew apart the meaning frayed. As stands were strained by winds that framed a different way to live, we blamed the night, the dusk is love and death, once thrown below a murmured breath. Of air we waited for a chance to build a future and enhance the little bits of stuff that sticks as people gather laying bricks. To stop all time a storm of weird and wildish growth that we have feared has been suppressed. A structure holds the strangling trees at bay, the folds of minds that formed in safer songs, discovered light, the rights and wrongs were added up and found to sum to nothing. So upon the drum we beat a blazing heartbeat out across the void and hoped a shout or two might reach some ears that hear our strains and send a sky to steer us to the truth, but waiting for an answer showed us even more than we had hoped. The strength we found by rooting down into the ground would bring us flight and further sight, and words and pictures filled the white of unmarked pages. Life grew small, but also large, enfolding all. We looked and thought and looked again at empty spaces, wondering when the cracks would spread and what we knew would shatter. So the tension grew itself across the space to find the voices that could help unwind a confidence that might not be aligned with what a touch might see. And now we're here to feel the pull of strangling strings and the fullness of the change in how we break up into parts has left an ache that flips the world. But where are we? If no one knows, perhaps we're free to choose ourselves and redefine interpretations of the sign that calls to us a sweeping flow of brand new ways the world could grow up into stranger shape that soar with life that's learning more and more. But scary things will grow up too when rules are stripped away. The new might sometimes be less nice than we would hope, but carefully we'll stay free to see the dark come through the deep, and murky monsters may still creep to prey upon an unwatched thought that bubbled up when thinking's caught within a cage of love and light. So don't forget the grasping night. Through passing bellows to catch the air, forgotten depths forever stare. So journey on, the sun might set, but preparation for the net that fear has set to trap the brave will foil the plans to plot the grave of time. When sadness breaks the day, the sun will shine in a lifeless ray that gives no strength. Without a store of inner fire, the burning cage will cool and stop and turn to stone. So know it comes, don't go alone. Those friendly faces trace between the empty spaces that we've seen must always lurk in words whose curve is big enough to test your nerve. A wiser friend can guide your smiles, the currents that will flow for miles. To deeper wilds that scream arcane through twisting glimpses of the plain, description that lies underneath the welling up of gnashing teeth. That we have driven from the watch, those monuments that scream the worth of human blood up from the sands to shake the sky but falling lands. Us in the dirt where we will see the burning glow of what will be, the end of time and tropic death, a bursting heart, a rattled breath. We'll stay away from ruin and rage and travel onward through an age of newer tides of far-off stars to find new faces, earn new scars. Let's run, look back, just to be sure the streaking strands where moments stir are like the ones we've seen before, so we don't miss a fruitful shore. That's full of rainbows, glassy shells, where life has been before it wells, up from the cracks in blooming light that scatters remnants of the bright, through breathing space that churns the air as people stream to settle there, and flee the places where their thoughts had stripped away, exposing dots of unwashed dreams and lonely holes, and that people find to hide their souls, so that they'll keep for someone right. Till then they'll keep on holding tight. In case it tries to fly away, get lost in clouds and find a day that makes it brighten, glow, then burn, or sows the fear. It's hard to learn the ways to walk to find the things that once are got, the giving brings. The test of all the moment's sight, of all the ways to make it right. The fiery sun, the joining halves, the turning clocks, the stomping feet, the chanting crowd out on the street. Of people born they understand, themselves a force to shape the land. The sea, the air, the moon, the stars, the blinding strike of self that jars them. From their sleep will shake the world and knock it loose from claws that curled around the blue and green. The voice that hears itself can make a choice of how it sings the newer words. So talk about the flight of birds, the shape of wings, the wind that whirls, what stuff today the eye defers, to picture built inside instead, then leap full-formed right from the head. Or thoughtful thinker smiling sly, our words will take us through the sky. If we can't wait, it's hard to hold the hunger back when life is cold. The lacking things we wish were there, there's time to hope and time to care. And time for friends, and in the end, the lazy wanderers round the bend might conjure up the time we lost. It's hard sometimes to sum the cost. When numbers fall, lie leaves and spin, away we'll feel how long it's been since last we saw the trees of home, the distant reaches that we roam. To find a place will calm the mind, the chaos leaking out to find. The balance frees the deeper parts to hold the moments in our hearts. Look at life, it's looking back. Time will come and go and track a course through tears and fears and blame, and guilt and loss, but love will frame the painting if you know your name, and hold it high and make a claim. To see the future, breathe the air, explore through things were lurking there. You'll go, you've got the skills to stop the scary stuff, the sudden drop. There's beauty in the fight, so go and figure out what we don't know. There's helping hands to guide your smile, so don't wear out, go rest a while. The world will wait with open arms while you recover from the harms. You can't avoid, so sleep, my friend, then wake to watch the nighttime end. The dawn is soon, your path is clear. Your sun is rising, drawing near. The edge of earth, so chase it down, and on your way you'll lose your frown. Amongst the clashing crazed designs of stranger new streets in unmarked lines, that formed with feet that found a way, the same as you'll sometimes stay, but sometimes go with tearing speed, so find a map and learn to read. A mountain range you'll find your north, your grand adventure striding forth. Into the flood of unknown forms, the swirl with winds and drive the storms. Through peaks and valley hard and cold, that touch the clouds if you stay bold. The face you hide becomes the sun, the strength that ebbed returns to run. Through fields of calmer roaring bright, the flowers through the sight of eyes grow wiser by the blood, on hands that scraped up through the mud. And rocks and thorns that filled the path, that fight against the thoughtless wrath of unlived lives, is one with hope that carries spirits. Let us grope at far-off moments, feel the moon it's gazing down. We'll be there soon, and then beyond. Together thought will coalesce, become what's not. The waves will crash against the sand. We'll find our faith that we can stand, to bear the truth and leave the sea, to float away 'cause we're free. That is The Sun Will Rise, a story written by my friend Logan, based on the artwork that I did after 2 years of making a Oh the Places You'll Go art book, and then painting over Oh the Places You'll Go and letting Logan create a story on what art was left. So I just wanted to share these few stories because I think it's a really fun example of how you can take an idea and make a different idea of it, and then share it with your friends, and then your friends can build another idea off of it. And we're all kind of just building off of each other's ideas. Yeah. So thank you for joining me again. I hope the audio and video is coming through okay. And for next episode, the quested item is another box, another shoebox of some sort. I have found this one as an example. So I'm questing you with finding another box like this. If it opens up like this, you want to have it so that the lid is attached to it. And we'll be making a portable puppet set with this box to accompany our creative kit of different markers and crayons and art supplies. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Safe travels till next time. And remember to take good care of each other. Bye.